The thorough analysis of the origin of species, Lesson 19. Ant employs slave ants. Instinct is very interesting subject. Charles Darwin says clearly as follows in Chapter 8. I may here premise that I have nothing to do with the origin of the mental power, any more than I have with that of life itself. We are concerned only with the diversities of instinct and of the other mental faculties in animals of the same class. Previously, it was said by me that when first confronting the title of Charles Darwin's book, The Origin of Species, it gives us an impression that he is going to mention where life came from or how organic being was begun, and that species does not mean life or organism, but that it is a terminology used in the last step of taxonomy. Of course, it is true that it gives us such an impression. He had never stated the viewpoint with respect to the origin of life in his book. The above affirms that he had nothing to do with the origin of life, but the evolutionists extended the concept of the evolution to the realm of life and wrapped everything in a wording chemical evolution. Charles Darwin is saying that he is concerned only with the diversities of instinct and of the other mental faculties in animals of the same class. This means that his concern did not go beyond the boundaries of class in taxonomy and was staying on the class. Therefore, the exact meaning of species by Charles Darwin is not life or organism, but is the terminology used in the last step of taxonomy. When an action which requires experience to perform is performed by an animal, more especially by a very young one without experience, and when performed in the same way by many individuals without knowing for what purpose it is usually said to be instinctive. Finally, it may not be a logical deduction, but to my imagination, it is far more satisfactory to look at such instincts as the young cuckoo ejecting its foster brothers, ants making slaves, the larvae of equanimity feeding within the live bodies of caterpillars, not as specially endowed or created instincts, but small consequences of one general law leading to the advancement of all organic beings, namely, multiply, vary, let the strongest live, and the weakest die. Charles Darwin, reporting the instinctive actions of the various animals such as ant, aphid, tumbler pigeon, cuckoo, bee, tit, and many others at great length in this chapter, is insisting that instinct was not given separately to individuals, and it varies. And he drew conclusion as follows. The canon of natura non facit saltum in natural history is applicable to instincts as well as to corporal structure. Instincts are not always absolutely perfect. It varies slightly in a stage of nature and is accumulated in any useful way under changing conditions of life. And though animals take advantage of the instincts of others, instinct had not been produced for the good of other animals. It is far more satisfactory to look at instincts as small consequences of one general law leading to the advancement of all organic beings, namely, multiply, vary, and let the strongest live and the weakest die. This is the recapitulation of chapter 8. See you. Shalom Aleichem.